Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is Fishing Vlog number 75, and I want to start off by talking about the big and little brother filters I put together for the big 7-foot tank. As you can see, this is the bigger one, and it's getting a little bit of mulm in the bottom of the planter, which is excellent. And the other thing is, you'll notice, is the water level is a little bit lower than where I normally show it to you guys. This is at the bottom of its cycle. I know I've mentioned this a couple times, and I still haven't shown it to you, but this aquarium, I never actually take water out. There's a plumbing setup and also a sponge system at the far left of this tank. All I do is I fill it up, and then over the course of a week it just drains down. The first part of it goes pretty quick, usually about a half hour, and then the rest of it just takes the rest of the week. So this is the little brother filter, and this is the one I need to make the adjustment to, because when I put water in this, which I'll show you here shortly, that top part that forms a high humidity cap, it bounces around and it kind of get on a little bit of a skewed angle, and that's a little irritating. So I want to have it settled in properly, and of course have the flow go through the filter properly, and not have to worry about that anymore. So that's coming up shortly after I show you a little bit more of a clip of the angels, which are doing really well. One of the things I've noticed with these guys, we're getting down now to where I think I've culled out most of the ones that are going to get culled out. There's probably a couple more that I'll remove that aren't quite up to snuff. But one thing I've noticed is they are beginning now to outgrow Ripley here, which you're going to see right now. She's doing really well, but just not thriving as much as they are, or at least not growing as well as they are. So it's nothing important. It's just something I should probably keep an eye on over time, just to see, maybe she's just like the runt of the litter, that kind of thing. So here you go. I filled it up, and you can see water's just splashing and bubbling everywhere, and it is kind of off to the side. And all I had to do was, you can see here in a second, drill a small little hole in the upper corner there in the back, and all the excess air now escapes there. And for the next half hour, as this drains down below that lip, it stays perfectly fine where it needs to be, and I don't have any issues with it. So this is much better. I prefer this. I haven't really had any issues with this filter at all. I mean, it's growing nicely, but it's always, better just to have the flow go through the filter properly. So this I wanted to show you because, first off, I just had gotten this plant here. This is not Brazilian pennywort, just a variety thereof, but it seems to be doing all right. It seems to be growing quite nicely. But more importantly, I mean, the whole system here is just doing so well. I mean, all that is just growing really nicely, especially the Java fern. And I'm hoping in the middle of that, the pennywort is going to take off and fill that whole center bit. And I just want to show you, this is the kind of look I want that whole thing to get to eventually. And I think it'll get there. And as you can see, the centerpiece here is doing really well. The lily is sending out more and more leaves. I think this is going to really look nice. And I keep meaning to get to this, and I really will, because as you can see, the Java fern on the branches is just doing ever so well. I mean, I really like how that looks. And I just need to get in there and wire up a bunch more so it can start growing as well. And as you can see, if you can look past that poor little runt of a platy, which is not doing well at all, just simply not keeping up. The hornwort is just not thriving. And I think it's now at the point where it is actually shrinking. And I had a question from Fred. I was wondering if it was something to do with the water, because it may just not like this tank, but there is hornwort in this aquarium. I should probably show it to you guys. It is doing quite well. It's growing nicely. So it is something to do with being confined in a filter, and I really can't see how or why, but I'll fiddle around with that a little bit more, and maybe it's something to do with light or something. We'll get to that. As you can see, this is all fine. It's just new, so there's nothing really growing here at all yet. But nothing's changed in the aquarium. The fish are really happy and active, and that's the important bit. So in time, this should start growing out just as nicely as all the others. This is the pond, and the plants are doing well. I am going to be taking the bettas out of here. They're not thriving. They're not doing what I want them to do, so I am going to set up a specific environment for them. If you remember when I set up the pond, the barrel beneath is filled with coral, and I think it's just the water is too too alkali, and probably just too much dissolved minerals in it. So I'm going to pull them out, put them in a separate aquarium, get them set up in their own system, and get them growing out that way, and then hopefully breed them. So these cultures I'm very happy with now. They are easy to maintain. I just have to make sure I don't add too much straw at a time. I did add some yesterday, which is after I filmed this, so you don't really get to see it. And I probably won't add any more until next week. And I find they kind of go in cycles. Some of them will just like bloom quite nicely, as you can see in this one here, and then it'll die down a little bit. I am going to keep all these going, and I want to set up one aquarium with straw and filtration and everything else, and get one of these cultures, or a culture I should say, hopefully growing really well in there. I have lots of cyclopses, as you can see, lots of daphnia, and also sea shrimp. So there is plenty there to keep me going, and I just want to make sure I can get enough of it going that I can actually feed the fish. So this is the second colony I set up for breeding guppies, and they're doing it very, very well. The babies I just left them in there. I know a lot of people say that guppies tend to eat a lot of their fry, but I actually don't really see much of that. And I'm running out of space for them already. That's another reason why I'm thinking of getting the bettas out of the pond, because I am going to be overrun with baby guppies here shortly. They keep having more babies, and you're going to see in a clip coming up here shortly the original setup. They've had now their fourth batch of fry, and like I said, these are going to start getting overcrowded, and I need to get them all spread out. So I think they're going to go into the pond. I wanted to show you this because I want to keep her nice and happy and fat, but she's starting to get a little bit of attitude. You'll see her in a second. She's going to start chasing one of the goldfish. There you go. She's not doing any damage to them, but I think she's finally got her wind back. So I think possibly in the next week or two, she's going to go back in her tank with the male, and I'll probably end it with more of them. So this is the last clip, and as you can see, this is the original tank for the breeders. I had lowered the water here so you can see them. It's very difficult otherwise because they're all behind the plants. There's another couple dozen fry in here, so like I said, I need to do something to spread all these guys out. It's either going to be in one of the 2x2x2 aquariums, or it's going to be in the pond. So let me know what you think. Actually, leave a comment below as to what you think you would prefer for that. And as always, leave lots of comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.